अब हामी चाहिँ क्रुज चढ्नु आयौँ है। यहाँ छ भाइ, ल लेट्स गो, आउन। ठ्याक्कै अब क्रुज चढ्यो है हाम्रो भाइको फर्स्ट टाइम नि भाइ। मैले नि मेरो नि फर्स्ट टाइमै भन्दा हुन्छ। सानो चाहिँ चढेको होइन एल्बिना, तिमी वाटर टनमा चढेको नि त तिमीले, भाइले चाहिँ चढेको छैन, भाइको फर्स्ट टाइम हो। लाग्यो अब चाहिँ बल्ल। ल यसमै हो चढ्ने माथि आउन। हिँड्न भाइ, यता दिस वे। यस्तो चढ्दैछ सबै। गोइङ टु द टप फ्लोर भाइ। यता आउँदैछ, यता आमा छोरी, यता हाम्रो भाइ चढिरहेछ। यो झन् ठुलो रहेछ, अब घामले पोल्ने रहेछ।
Hi there.
Salut. Konnichiwa.
Hola. Before we begin our tour today, I'd like to draw your attention to a few important safety announcements. Life jackets on this vessel are located under the benches on A deck, the deck that you boarded on. On C deck, which is the uppermost of the vessel, you will find our life rafts. In the unlikely event of an emergency, we ask that you please follow the direction of the captain and crew who are fully trained in marine emergency procedures. This beautiful steam wheeler we're traveling on was built for Harbour cruises at Allied Shipyards in North Vancouver and was launched in July of 1983. You're aboard Vancouver's only authentic paddle wheeler. The paddle wheel on the stern of our ship is our only means of propulsion. As we cruise around the harbour at a comfortable speed of 6 knots or about 11 kilometers per hour. Spanish were the first to arrive, but it was the British captain George Vancouver who, the following year, made it into the inner harbour. He named this place the Burrard Channel after his Navy friend Sir Harry Burrard. By the 19th century, gold was discovered on the Fraser River, and with a rich logging industry, the British came to occupy and settle this region permanently. We are currently traveling through the waters of Cole Harbour. Once a popular spot among the Squamish peoples for fishing herring, it gained its name from the underwater coal deposits discovered here in the 1850s, although the coal was deemed unusable. Cole Harbour has transformed dramatically over the years. Back in the late 1800s, this was an industrial hub. Sawmills, shipyards, and even a coal loading terminal lined the waterfront. The area evolved into a bustling port and eventually into a high-end residential and business district you see today. Just north of us lies Stanley Park, a sprawling 1,000-acre urban park home to towering old-growth forests, over 230 bird species, and the iconic seawall, the world's longest uninterrupted waterfront path stretching 28 kilometers along Vancouver's coastline. The park also contains historical sites, including indigenous totem poles and remnants of early settler structures. This beautiful area, now known as Stanley Park, was once home to many indigenous peoples and remains a culturally significant area for the local First Nations people today. Stanley Park is on the unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. The park's villages were occupied for thousands of years by First Nations and newcomers before their eviction in the 20th century. Unceded means the First Nations people did not give up land or legally sign it away to Britain or Canada. We are on a long journey to reconcile acknowledging Indigenous peoples as the first peoples to this land and recognizing that these peoples were dispossessed, persecuted, and oppressed as a result of colonization. Now, keep an eye out ahead. If you don't see them yet, you soon will. Vancouver's busy floatplane terminal is just up ahead, one of the busiest in the world. These small aircraft take off and land right here in the harbour, carrying passengers to destinations along the coast, places like Victoria, Nanaimo, and remote fishing lodges deep in British Columbia's wilderness. If you hang around long enough, you'll see planes taking off or landing every few minutes. Over 300 flights a day operate from this very spot. It's like an airport, but without the runways. The only thing that limits these float planes is visibility. So on a day with poor visibility, many of the flights get delayed.
माथिदेखि हिँडेको यहाँ आइपुग्यो ठुलो सिप हो You like this bike? See?
Now, let's talk about Gastown, the birthplace of Vancouver. Just east of Canada Place, you'll find Gastown, where Vancouver's story truly began. Before the city had a name, paved roads, or any sense of law and order, it had a bar. And that's where the trouble started. In 1867, a smooth-talking, whiskey-loving entrepreneur named John Gassy Jack Dighton arrived with a barrel of booze and a dream. He convinced local sawmill workers to build him a tavern in exchange for all the whiskey that they could drink in one sitting. They finished the saloon in less than a day, and just like that, Gastown was born. It was rebuilt with brick and stone, and today, Gastown's heritage building, Dighton, married a 12-year-old Squamish girl, highlighting a darker and often overlooked part of Vancouver's early history. And every single day, about $510 million worth of cargo passes through. That's more than $5,000 per second. Benjamin Tingley Rogers in 1890. At just 24 years old, he secured $50,000 from New York investors, then rolled into Vancouver with big dreams and sharp negotiation skills. The city, hungry for industry, handed him a golden ticket for land, 10 years of free water, and 50 years.
खाली छ भित्र एकदम खाली छ
Downtown Vancouver and Lonsdale Key. It's a quick 12-minute ride that carries thousands of commuters and visitors daily between Waterfront Station and North Vancouver. No traffic jams, no bridges, just straight across the Burrard Inlet with mountain views the whole way. Speaking of mountains, look up. On a clear day, you can spot all three of Vancouver's iconic North Shore peaks. From left to right, you've got Cypress, Grouse, and
मुनि जाने अरे
Seymour. These aren't distant weekend getaways. They're right here. In the winter, you can finish working, killing 18 ironworkers and injuring many others. It remains Vancouver's worst industrial accident. In their honor, the bridge was renamed the Ironworkers Memorial Second Morris Crossing. I'll talk more about the Lonsdale Bridge and its relation to Guinness beer when we get closer to it.